Good morning. I'm not sure if it's on or off. Okay, let's see. No, I'm not sure how my broadcast is going to be today. It's a very interesting day. It's the 9th day in my personal cycle. And as I said, we have 9 days, 9 months, 9-year cycles in our life. And today I'd like to talk about the day of completion, the day of energy going to zero to start again. Why is it so important for me, for example? Because those 9 days were pretty active, and I was born on 25th. So my number of consciousness, number of thinking metrics, number of understanding life through particular lenses is number 7. So when you go to the doctor, eye doctor, they measure your eyesight and they give you a prescription. And that is the prescription that tells you that maybe you need eyeglasses to see things closer to you, and you might not be able to see it well, or maybe you do not see things in the far. So in metaphorical terms, you either see too many details or not enough details, or you either see a bigger picture or you don't see a bigger picture. And in the material life of ours, we go, we pay, and we get the prescription. And that prescription has a frame. And sometimes frame is more expensive than prescription, because frame is designed for you. And again, you put it on your face, and your face changes. So not only your face changes, your eyes change also with the different tints of the glass, but also your perception of the world changes. And we do it once a year, twice a year to check the eyesight. Because what we see and what we miss depends on it. But we also have lenses within our mind. And these lenses we rarely check. Why? Because those lenses are given to us for free, complimentary from our parents, from our teachers, from our friends, from our experiences, from our education. All the time, our perception of the world is changing a little bit. And now imagine, in the family, you have a husband who's constantly learning, constantly challenged at work, for example. Maybe he's a leader who leads people and needs to be in communication with people. And maybe he needs to learn something professional, because profession often requires upgrade, new knowledge. And then you have a wife who is also learning, but absolutely different things, because she has a different profession. She also might be more involved with kids, for example, or more involved with the community, or more involved with her profession. So they're both learning, but they're both learning different things. And when we learn professionally, not often do you also learn how to integrate the new knowledge in life. We learn how to integrate new knowledge in our profession. So we get better and better at work, worse and worse in the family. Because in the family, we rarely upgrade the knowledge of how to relate to each other, for example, or how to relate to children, or how to relate to the world as a family, and world events, which are rapidly changing as well. And so we are first graders in relationships, while we might be 10th graders or even college students or even graduates in profession. And then one day you realize that conversations you have at work or with your co-workers are much more stimulating, much more interesting and inspiring than conversation that you have at home. Who does what and who takes out the garbage, and the floor is not clean. And that leads you to start questioning, is that the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? Is that the person I actually married? And then if that the person who is like so low in his or her perception of life, and we actually both could be extremely intellectual people, but it does not show up in relationship as much because we don't have very intellectual challenges in the family. In the family, the life is very simplified. Who cooks, who takes out the garbage, and where do we go on vacations, pretty much the scope of things. Sometimes people talk about variety, how we can make our life more interesting at every level, including intimacy and love and connection and safety and security and significance. But even then, we don't really talk in a way that we talk with our co-workers. That's why, by the way, people have an affair at work with co-workers, because it seems a much more interesting and stimulating relationship. So each of us live in our own lenses, and depending on the day that you are born, that number reflects how you think. So my number is 7, 25, 2 and 5, and that number reflects a very high speed of perception, high speed of change. I make decisions, I follow on those decisions with the action. Also the high speed of judgment and high speed of emotional fluctuation, and high speed in gaining weight or losing weight. Everything is at the high speed. And this is how my mind operates. If you're born on the 1st or 10th of the month, or 19th, or any other numbers that make 1 when added together, these people are natural leaders. And being a leader in their own life is natural for them. But if you live with somebody like that and they want to do what they want to do, it might disturb your peace, and you might feel that you are living with egoists, that you always have to compromise in order to be in a relationship with. Because these people also move forward without necessarily worrying who goes behind. They're like a choo-choo train, full speed forward. And sometimes their strategies are not extremely useful for you, and they also make mistakes in strategies. But nevertheless, they're not gonna sit with you for a long time trying to figure out how to make things different for you. They believe that making things different for themselves is okay, and you should work on yourself. Well, if you are in a relationship with these people, you either take upon yourself their strategy because it works for you, or you move on in your relationship because you cannot change the leader and the strategist to be a follower and a person who takes a compromise. But if you are born on the 2nd or 11th, for example, or 20th, then what you will experience is that you always want to maintain your relationships. You always want to sacrifice yourself. You want to bring diplomacy in relationship. And if the person is abrupt or inconsiderate, you take it to your heart because you don't understand how people could be like that. In fact, it's really hard to understand people when you are born on the 2nd or in the summary of the numbers that comes to 2. Because you want to be of service, you want to be in relationship, you want to be in partnership, you want to be of service to the people that you love. And sometimes you sacrifice too much, and that relationship is no longer optimal. So the way these people think is through relational lenses, and everything they feel is through relational lenses. And the decisions they make are about how to save the relationship at any cost. And that is a good idea, to save the relationship, not closing the doors on people, because we don't know who knows somebody else, who knows somebody else, who knows somebody else. At the same time, when a relationship, which is now your high standard, like a moral, right, that you follow, and all the morals are the things that are accepted in the environment, in your society, but at the same time, what you've accepted for yourself as well, the rules, so to speak. So when the relationship becomes more important than your goal in life, and we only have one goal, survive and thrive and move forward, and grow and develop, and then contribute who you are, your energy into the world. The rest of it is the bonus, of course. So if your moral of saving relationship against all odds and at any cost becomes the most important thing above your goal, you will never accomplish your goal. But what's interesting, in that situation, we blame others for our morals, for our lenses. And if you're born on the 3rd, or 23rd, or 12th, or 30th, or any other numbers that make 3 at the end, the moral here is to scrutinize and analyze everything. And the lenses are more critical than anything else. You're constantly looking for things that are out of congruency with your system of understanding life. People who are not following the rules, you're constantly creating instructions for other people. And if you cannot create an instruction, you look for instructions so you know what to do. And as long as your lenses are like that, being innovative is a bit hard, because you're always thinking about, am I doing it right? If I'm not doing it right, what should I do? And you're also looking at another person as somebody who's not doing it right, for example. So there are 9 lenses. Lens number 4 is a mystical lens. They see everything in that innovative, creative way from which something new arises. But again, if in a relationship you live with somebody who does not like your innovation, wants to do the same thing, stay in the same way, repeat the same actions, these people who are born on 4th or 13th or 31st or 22nd, they start feeling unfulfilled. They start feeling my soul is not getting the inspiration, because there is too much sameness. I need constant innovation, constant stimulation, and these people easily go into depression, especially if they had a high charged weekend, for example. And unfortunately, some people also use all kinds of stimulation that are not natural, like smoking all kinds of things, taking all kinds of pills, drinking all kinds of alcohol. In that moment, you feel charged by something else. So Monday comes, and today is Tuesday, but you lived through Monday yesterday, so I know what I'm talking about. Let's say you saw a thriller that also gives you adrenaline. Let's say you went on a speed ride in a car or on a boat, or you spent the weekend with somebody you love and you touched and you had a lot of tactile experience and you've created oxytocin. I spent weekend dancing tango, which is also a lot of oxytocin, the hormone of bonding. Then after high experience, these people with lenses of consciousness number 4 start seeing world as not enough. It doesn't have me enough magic. It doesn't give me enough mystical feeling that I did not really produce. It's just been produced for me by other substances or other people or other circumstances. And it creates a crash on Monday and Tuesday and so on in the week. So I have no judgment in terms of what you use to bring your energy up, because everybody, every lenses, every number has its own prescription. But what I do know, that when you take things from outside and you put it inside, in a material way, in a matter, it becomes part of what matters in your life. And when you take things as sunshine, as blue skies, as the nature, as the breath, you have more choices and you have more control of how the levels of your energy fluctuate. But even though you have a control, you still have a 9-day cycle. So today, my 9-day cycle comes to the end. It's day number 9. And if you listen to my broadcast yesterday and the day before, I think yesterday I didn't even come out because I had, or maybe I came out for a little short time, because I was dancing until very late, like 2:30 or something like that, 3 o'clock. Then I came back to my hotel and I needed to pack. And in the morning we had to leave, and then we went to the, and I had 2 sessions. So I had to be ready and energized for that. And then we left for the airport, and then we were delayed, and then they were flying, and then we were waiting for the bag, and then we were driving back home from Tampa. So we came home like 12 o'clock. And that was my day 8 coming into day 9. And day 9 is a completion of the cycle where you need to rest, rejuvenate, bring yourself to the mellow state. So the way I talk today probably also reflects that. I'm not as fast in my movement. My feet are still moving pretty fast, but in a movement of energy. So today, I could have easily skipped the walking. I didn't skip the walking yesterday. I was walking. I just don't remember if I went online. But today, I could easily tell myself, oh, poor little darling, you're so tired. You should not really strain yourself. But then talking to you and being in the nature really inspires me, gives me life, gives me energy. And as I take the energy in, I start moving, which creates a metabolic process of integrating the energy and also expressing myself through talking to you is releasing the energy. So just like you eat and poop, eat and poop, eat and poop, you also need to get energy in and let energy out. Get energy in and let energy out. And however it works for you, some people dance, some people jump, some people run, some people eat, some people don't eat. There are many, some people struggle with relationship and make a scandal to release the overload of the energy received over the weekend. We all have our own ways, but then the question is, what's the most ecological way? Because we do have ecology of the body, an ecology of the relationship, an ecology of the home, ecology of our relationship. An ecology is creating stable, sustainable relationship with your environment, which we talk a lot about sustainable sources of electricity and sustainable sources of growing things on earth and not polluting the earth. We talk a lot about it. And if you are consciousness lenses number 5, you talk even more, because 5 is about talking, creating relationships and communications and sharing their views, usually to sell an idea, not because they want to sell, it's because that's their nature. So But we sell ideas not just with the words, we also sell ideas with how we are. Yesterday, on a back home flight, I watched a very old movie, Eat, Pray, Love. Julia Roberts was there. It's a very beautiful movie, very melodramatic, but I wanted to see it because that was my state, the state of letting energy in and letting energy out in a very ecological way on a plane. And so I thought I'll recharge myself with this idea. Eat what your body wants. Pray in whatever way you can. For me, prayer is a state, because in a state of love and connection, you love and connect to the universe, and it loves and connects back to you. But you can also use any words you wish, and you can also be silent and listen. And in the movie you'll see all different ways of eating, loving, and praying. And then love is also particular to how you see the world. And so for 5, consciousness lenses number 5, love is about letting you know exactly what you need to buy to make your life better. And they are very adamant about it. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine for many, many years. We come together, we push against each other with activation of those lenses, because we have all 9. We just have some dominant ones, and the dominant ones are in your birthday and birth date. The whole date, also summary of the whole date, gives you also a number, but that number is not about your consciousness lenses. The summary of all the numbers in your birth date is the number through which you take an action. So it's like a charging battery. It charges you. It's a battery number 5, charges you to sell with a lot of energy, and depending on who you're with, you could be very successful. But yesterday I was coming down on day 9. I was not sleeping well for 3 nights because I was dancing, and my energy did not match her energy, because she was very high and very enthusiastic about something that she does in life. And she went on me with all her might, and I said, could you please stop selling that? I want to buy it, I just cannot buy it right this moment, and I need to relax first. I need to complete one cycle and then come back to it. But what happens, interestingly enough, when we are in a cycle, we don't know where the cycle begins and when the cycle ends. You can notice it. You can use your consciousness, your awareness, to see the energy of the day. And if you write it down, this is how I feel today, this is how I feel, and at the end of the day you analyze, you will probably find all those numbers in your days and figure it out. But I can also calculate it for you. Not right now, I'm busy, very busy. But at the end of October I'll have free time, so whoever needs to know your personal fluctuations, I'll absolutely be happy to share it with you, and maybe even teach like a master class, free of charge, because I believe this knowledge is extremely important. I do sell things, but there are things that are important for me, which is relationship to the people through which they get charged, but what I know, or they get relaxed with what I know. And so I do quite a lot of things for community, because I believe my goal is more important than the money that I can get from selling things. And the sell is also part of material life, of course, so whenever it's appropriate, people pay me. But most of the things that I'm telling you right now is the channel of God. It's things that you see in your life every day. And I came into contact with a structuring system called Syucai through a friend of mine who lives on the other side of the world. And I always give her contact in the description, because if you are Russian-speaking individual, she does her group classes and her master classes in Russian, and she also works for community a lot, so a lot of things she does complementary, and you can learn a lot from it. I am not doing it in Russian. I mean, I do consult in Russian, but I do it in English. All my teaching is in English. And so I have YouTube channel, of course. I have Amazon books and metaphorical cards. And whatever else you want in English is out there. You can Google my name and you'll probably see a lot of stuff that might be useful. Or you can learn from anybody else. But the important thing that you constantly upgrade your lenses, just like regular eyeglasses. You take a fabric and you clean it up a little bit. Learning from people, allowing yourself to be in constant professional development, personal development, gives you an opportunity to become more interesting for the people who are in your family, but also for the people who are not in your family, but they are in your spiritual family, in your soul family. And then you can have more interesting conversations. Because at the end, what we're selling to each other is a different point of view. And we're close enough, good morning, to not accept somebody else's point of view. Close-minded and close-hearted, because somebody else's point of view is usually given in a very animated way, and I do it a lot as well, because I have a lot of speed and a lot of push, a lot of warrior in me, and when I see things are not done right way, right in my perception, of course, then you want to change the world. But the way we want to change the world is usually our way, and not everybody is the same. So I don't have dominant number 5, but I do have it in my matrix, because all the numbers of your birth are in your matrix. So when you go to the doctor, for example, you go to the doctor when you don't feel comfortable. If something hurts, something's out of whack, and you just need somebody else's opinion. When you have a problem with relationship, you usually go to friends. Friends will give you their opinion and their expertise. Is better to go to a high-level expert that can give you all the lenses, so you can look from different angles to the same situation and choose the one that works for you. But imagine you come to the doctor with something that is not comfortable. And this is actually the way lenses number 6 operate. People who are born on 15th, on 6th, on 30, on 24, those are the people who operate from this. If it's not comfortable, it's not right. If I don't feel love, it's not right. I'm born in June, I'm sorry. This is 6 as well. And for me, it's a school of life. I need to learn how to see love in everything. How to see that every relationship gives me something that I can include in my heart, in my mind, so I can love the world and people more. Loving does not mean sleeping in the same bed. Loving means I understand you, I see you, is the spirit, as the spark of the universe, and I see your struggle, and I allow you to find your way into feeling comfortable, into feeling loved, accepted, understood, safe, significant. And the basic idea in these lenses is, if I am okay and I can make myself okay, then I can trust that everybody has the same possibility. This is a healthy psyche. I am okay, therefore other people also could be okay. The world is okay. I do not need to do anything for anybody to make them better in a way that I believe they should feel or act or be. And sometimes my family even do not understand me. My clients do understand me, because through my life, I work with all kinds of clients, starting with drug addiction, sex addiction, mental, emotional disturbances, split personalities, rape victims. All of that was in my past, not in my personal past. Luckily, I was okay. I'm always okay. But people that came to me came to my need to make world comfortable for me. And when I saw people struggling, I learned how to help. And what I realized, for a lot of people, however terrible that suffering is, has its own benefit. First of all, government pays. If you are struggling a lot, in depression, on a sick leave, and all of that. Family pays with attention and money. You allow yourself more. The self-discipline is gone. When you're suffering, and everybody should see it. So you don't control your emotions or your thinking. And so this perpetual cycle of suffering happens. So when people would come to my consultations, and I would try to make them better, which I can do pretty easily, because my body is very open, my energy is extremely multiplying, amplifying. So in one session, I would amplify all they felt, they would spill it out, and they would come up on an emotional scale. But to coming up from depression, suffering, struggling, up means now you are in fear, and how I'm gonna be, because now I have to take care of myself. And then if you go even higher, you're in anger, because depression is like 0, shame, blame, 20, 30 morning. Then you go to fear, which is up to 50, and then you go to anger, which is up to 70. And then you go to desire, and I want it, and I want what I want. So you can imagine me being a speedy coach. I'm also a teacher by education, and I'm also a practitioner of many sorts, including bioresonance, for example. So I use machines, I use my own body, because my body learned how to be even more effective than machine, because I can feel deeper. The machine cannot feel, it can only measure. So in these sessions, the person would go from I want to kill myself to I want something else, which sometimes led to all kinds of interesting proposals. And I had to monitor my energy so I don't bring people into that level of desire, because that desire is based on fear, I'm not going to have it, and anger, that you lost a part of your life being in struggle. But in struggle, in anger, you get a lot of power. And that power sounds like, whoa, you did it to me, I was okay, now I'm not okay. Yes, when you are absolutely out of it, switched off, and live life automatically, you still have your consciousness working for you, but now it's automatically, which means you don't know what you desire. Those desires are low frequency desires. They trigger certain things, and the comfortable, which is the lens number 6, that comfortable become familiar and comfortable. I know how to be a victim, and therefore don't take me out. So working with thousands, not hundreds, thousands of people, and also leading big forums with matrix energetics, for example, or Gene Keys, for example, human design. I realized that everybody has their own pathway from point A to point B. And the point B is the moving target. It's not necessarily defined in one way, because as you move, the matrix of your birth date starts activating, and the competencies that you don't have, for example, how to make yourself comfortable, will light up through other people and through circumstances of your life. And then you will be able to be exactly the person you need to be, who's in charge of your own comfortable and uncomfortable. And then you understand, I'm okay. And therefore, other people can also make themselves comfortable. They can find the way to be. They can ask questions. And if I'm asked, I'm always helping. But if I'm not asked, I'm letting people be. But I create broadcasts like that. So if their consciousness state in that day brings them here to me, to this broadcast, that means that they're ready to do something else with their life. I have a lot of wind. I hope you can hear well. So then, if everything is okay and everybody is okay, you are free to continuously making your life better, which absolutely affects other people. Lots of people with this consciousness number want to bless other people when they are not okay. And that blessing comes with attachment. Today I had an interesting conversation with my cleaning lady. I have to bring it up. She's a wonderful woman. But today the people came to change my floors. And I didn't know about that until late. So I texted her and I said, I'm sorry, I was flying all day. I just realized that you are coming on a day when they just notified us. And I need to change our date. And she's like, I usually charge $50 for it. And I said, okay, no problem. I'll send you $50. You're right. But at the same time, I felt extremely uncomfortable because she also changed days. I didn't tell her that today I'm going to give you $50 less. Because it's good to have the rules, competency number 3. The system in which you operate and how you relate to other people. When you don't have that system, the relationship gets broken. And I am a warrior, like I told you, because I also have that speediness, right? So immediately I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay her and I'm gonna call somebody else and I'm not gonna bother. But then I caught myself having my very speedy decision about something that a person feels uncomfortable. She didn't like to be canceled because she lives on this money. And of course I paid. But what I did say is that I understand your point of view and I absolutely respect that. I don't do it with my clients. I probably would be a millionaire by now, but because I coach business people. Business people have things popping up sometimes that were not expected, or they needed somewhere, or they're in a part of production which needs their attention immediately, and their schedule is very tight because business people are also busy people, and they're people of the action, so they're constantly in the action. So I don't charge them for that, even though they often ask, like, sorry, I have to cancel, I'll send you the payment. And I always say, my goal is to make you feel better. My goal is to be okay with whatever your schedule is. So you could feel okay, and you can call me or text me when you need me, not when you have to. And that creates relationship for years. People who's been with my coaching 5-10 years ago, when they're in trouble, they come back because they know I am free for you. I am available for you. I will always find the time. If I need to move things around, if somebody's in an emergency, I'll move things around. So for some people, it feels I'm extremely busy. For some people, it feels I'm extremely flexible. I'm both. I'm extremely busy. I have my schedule very tight. At the same time, people I work with are in relationship with me, which means fluidity and flexibility in understanding each other's needs. And most importantly, I do not set the system in which people will think twice about scheduling what they need with me, because they might not be able to keep the schedule 2, 3, 5 weeks later. life happens. And that brings me to lenses number 7, which is life happens fast. And the energy needs to be adaptable and flexible. It needs to be able to fluctuate. Your energy and the energy of your environment need to be in sync. So when you feel tired, it means you are not up to the activity that you've chosen, that you cannot maintain it, or your perception of that activity is not beneficial for you. It's beneficial for somebody else, for example. So I had another conversation yesterday with another client exactly about it. I feel tired of this service that I'm gonna perform already before I even do it. And we realize that, again, the client puts all the decisions and all the making everybody comfortable and all the structures that needs to be created on on himself, herself. And when that happens, yes, the energy leaks. And where it goes is exactly to the people with whom you don't have a relationship yet. Or you have a relationship, but maybe in the new event, the relationship is changing. So learning how to move through life, how to dance through life with your lenses, but also understanding that people around you also have lenses. And those are contact lenses. You cannot contact with somebody when you don't see their eyes. You only see contact lenses, but they're invisible. So you are contacting with the prism. You're not contacting with the person. And to be effective in relationship and to be effective in gaining energy from every interaction, which is the energy of inspiration, of understanding, of love, of connection, of significance, of personal development and contribution, all those energies are extremely, and safety most importantly, it is to understand the other person. What kind of lenses are they wearing? Which you can do if you learn how to decipher their birth date, because it's easy. I want to give you a gift. What's your day? What's your birthday? And they'll tell you. And you can give them the gift of your knowledge. Because even what I'm telling you right now is enough to help the world to be more conscious. And then, of course, is the lenses number 8. The lenses number 8 are the lenses of workaholics. Those are the people who are born on 8th, 17th, 26th. They need to work, and they need to work for material result. A lot of these people become business owners, and they usually find small businesses for themselves, because in a small business, the business owner becomes the slave to its own business. The business is small, somebody doesn't show, you cannot charge them for that, or you can fire them and break the relationship. But you still have to do the work. So in small businesses, you're doing everything. And there are many sayings about being everything for everybody, and jack of all trades, master of none. We actually master a lot of those different skills, traits, because we do need in a small business to be everything at once sometimes, especially if you don't have solid relationships in the business, good strategy, clear analysis, and ability to accomplish your goals through communication, number 5, and making yourself and others comfortable, number 6, and gaining energy, bringing energy to the optimal so you can continue working. But usually that changes breaking somewhere if you're exhausting yourself, and then the business does not work. So for these people, what's the most important is the fast result. You either need to have money, which is the fast result of the business. Every business is about money, or it wouldn't be called business, it would be business. So you need to have fast result with the money, or you need to love it so much that you do it without money, that you don't really worry about how much money it will give you, because you're doing it to fulfill your soul, to bring your soul into the state of unity with omniscient energy of the universe. Because omniscient energy of the universe does not separate who's gonna get a sun today. For example, right now in Florida, we have an open blue sky. I'm so happy to be home. What's interesting, there is a moon hanging out there, and there is the sun. So sometimes I start believing those theories that we are living in terrarium and we're being watched by some mighty animals, aliens. Why at almost 10 o'clock in the morning we have both sun and the moon? But fine. The moon is about softness of the night sleep, the relationship with the feminine energy, the dreams, the mysticism. And the sun is about enthusiasm, charging your life with the sun energy, seeing the sun early in the morning, which didn't happen for me today because I've been resting. I've been so tired that I needed to replenish my energy on the 9th day, which is the day of accomplishment. So if you're overworking and you are constantly doing something and money is not there, it might be that you don't have enough energy. Or maybe you've created a business that came to the cycle of its completion. Because just like people, businesses also have life. So the day you started the business is the birth date. The day you've married is the birth date of your marriage. And anything you start, if you started on a day that is the day close to completion, 7, 8, 9 day, for example, you might not have enough energy to continue and you would need to work a little harder. But you can bring things into fruition. The only thing to remember that 9, people born on 9, 18th, what else? 27. Those are the people that have this unconscious need to be the warrior, to fight for what's right, to be able to save everybody. They're ultimate saviors. They are great idea generator people because they understand all the energies very well. Why? Because to get in your birth, to get to the 9, or in your mission, which is the summary of all your numbers. So my lenses are 7, but my drive, my energy comes from number 9, because you have 2 numbers to watch yourself through, not just the lenses of your consciousness, but also how your body operates. So my body fights a lot, and I need to learn how to be close and open, to receive, not to fight right away, any ideas or any suggestions or any people. Because every energy, of course, comes with minus and plus. So if you don't clean your lenses, you might accumulate some experiences that brings your energy down, and you experience life with the low or minus energy. It's not bad or good. It's just a different learning experience. But when you kind of watch where you go with your energy, with your fluctuations, how you relate to the world, what choices you make, and most importantly, how you expand all the numbers and gain the competencies that are not necessarily in your birth date. For example, people born after 2000, they don't have all the numbers that we have, the people born in the previous century, right? So they have lots of zeros, and 0 is the energy of rest and completion, or not even starting. So for these people, it's a different strategy. What do you do when you do not understand, because you don't have some of those competencies? You can be in communication with people, with teachers, with life, experiencing things and making a note of it. This is the experience that I like. This is the experience I need to improve. This I need to learn, because if you don't learn, you get into crisis, you learn anyway. So this is the 9 numbers and your consciousness, and we'll talk about mission later on. But the idea for today is to notice what in your life is sort of completing yourself or has been completed and stuck, because if you've completed things, you need to derive the lessons and then start something new with this lesson integrated. Sometimes we complete relationships and immediately we go to the next relationship because we feel lonely, which means we're gonna get the same experience. Happens a lot. Again, I have a book about relationships, and that book is all about first find yourself. Where are you on the map? And only then find your match in the world. Same thing with children, the art of parenting. How to really raise your inner child before you start raising everybody else, which is important not just for parents but also for teachers. I've been a teacher for many years in a public school. Then I had my own school for 20 years for the children, supplementary school, and then I started teaching adults, because I understood that when adults are okay, the children will be okay. When the children who are growing into adults will be okay, the next generation will be okay, the world will be okay. Because if I am okay, I can share my okay with everybody else, and that's what this broadcast is about. If you feel that you are not okay, it's not because you're not okay. It's you've made some decisions, you've made some actions, you've been driven to some places, you've been acting on some cycles that need to be completed. And once you complete that cycle, you're free to start something else. But if you keep dragging the old suitcase with the memories and ideas based on those memories, nothing new happens, because the lenses are not clean. And maybe some of the lenses are missing from you. So if you don't have some of the numbers out between 1 and 9 in your birth date, the whole number, if you don't have those numbers, that means you just need to learn how to act, how to analyze, how to build relationships, how to create strategic plans, how to relate to the world from the comfortable position, from abundance, not from the should, I have to, I must. Those are not comfortable decisions ever. How to build your energy through walking. Walking is great, up and forward you go. And through working hard on a day when it's time to work, and resting well on a day when it's time to rest. And how to be the peaceful warrior. It's a really great movie. Who didn't see it? It's an old movie. It's a great movie, Peaceful Warrior. Or watch the movie that I watched yesterday. Eat, Pray, Love. And that's a great summary of how we are seeking things that are right there. And we're judging ourselves and we're making things impossible because we forget that we're here to digest life, to absolutely enjoy everything life has to offer, including food. And then at the point when you need to rest, you stop eating and you're just resting. And then you pray, which is the state of prayer, the state of communion with the life. And all life matters and all life is valuable, starting with yours. Your life is extremely valuable. And if you forgot that, because you're focusing on somebody else, nothing happens in your life, in your vessel of love. And then you can love. Then you can love the world, because you love what you are, and you love all the experience that you had and all the lessons you've learned, and it's your treasure box. And now with this treasure box, you move forward to point B, where other people, people with more expanded issues and problems are waiting for you to join in solving the world problems. Much love. May you be blessed with wonderful relationships, a lot of energy, a lot of wonderful work, and a lot of peaceful, resting moments in a circle of like-minded people. Have an amazing day.